Everyone. Wanted to provide you with some feedback, uh, audio visually, to help you with your projects. First of all, a few people came up to me after class and said that they only had feedback that was in this text box. This is the BMW team. And actually, that's not true. Everyone received significant feedback from me. And this is an online version of Word, but it's similar to what you have with your version of Word. Um, Go up to the top here and click on Review. And if you click on, notice that these previous, next, and delete, notice that they're not, let's say, active, right? So if we click on Show Comments, previous and next become active. And then you also saw, at least in this version of Microsoft Word, that the comments came up over here. This may or may not happen. I can go ahead and close that, right? So um, I can click on next. And then, as I provided with pretty much everyone, um, include an introduction that previews the paper as well as the main points. And you go through and you'll see the feedback that I provided. And that is how you find out about that. And that will give you a better explanation for why you earned the grade that you did. I provided the same feedback to you in the SWOT analysis, and no one sufficiently incorporated that feedback into this assignment. All right, so the next thing to take a look at is the thesis proposal. All right, this is the sample paper. Okay, the sample paper that I provided you, and I've edited it somewhat to illustrate exactly what it is that's required. So first of all, let's go over here to the course website. All right, and over on the right, you see group project. Go to that group project information sheet and open it up. And this this paragraph right here is very important. It tells you exactly what you need to include in the paper. You will first present your SWOT analysis. Then, based on the company you've selected, you will 1. Describe in detail the management issue you've selected. Analyze the company based on your selected issue with relevant theories and concepts. This is what was labeled literature review in the sample paper, and that most of you called literature review. And then every paper that said literature review, I said change that to something more specific. I'll show you what I'm talking about in just a minute. And 3, and this is an assignment that haven't uh, you haven't addressed this in your assignment yet. Discuss recommendations for the company based on your analysis of both the SWOT analysis and the selected issue, whether that be organizational culture, strategic management, innovation, or whatever. Okay. Um, one student asked me, "Is it all right if we go beyond 10 pages?" Yes. I'd say that let's call it 10 to 15 pages, because the SWOT analysis itself was something like 5 pages, and then everyone should include. I'm expecting everyone to include an introduction and a conclusion, and that's probably a page right there. So then you've got 6 pages, and then you need to do a review of literature on the topic that you've selected, and you need to provide recommendations. So maybe more like 10 to 15 pages. Please try to limit yourself to 15 pages. Now, let's go back to this sample paper. All right, and this is from AMAR's um, MBA thesis. I didn't want to just have to write this paper for you, and I don't have an example because this is the first time I've done this assignment. And I'll use it in the future, and I'll use one of the best papers from your class as an example. But right now I don't have one, so I'm using Amar's thesis, and I have provided, I've cut it all down to provide only the information that is required in your paper. It's not exactly what you need to do. The best thing to take a look at is this and the things that you need to include in the information sheet. But this gives you a something to look at, right? So first of all, provide that introduction. And I don't know how well Amar did with an introduction here, but provide that introduction that states the purpose of the paper and it previews the main points of the paper. All right, now the title is Customer Satisfaction at McDonald's Morocco. All right, so you see that he introduced the topic, fast food in Morocco, specifically McDonald's, and here he previews the paper. All right, then he goes to a SWOT analysis. All right, and so you've done the SWOT analysis in an assignment, and you have done this literature review, as you called it. All right, and I labeled it that, or actually, Amar labeled it that. So, what I've done is I've changed that. You should download the newer version, the updated version of the group information sheet because you'll see these changes. To give you an idea of what I'm wanting you to write here, customer satisfaction and brand loyalty, these are the things these are the issues. You've selected one. Innovation, strategic management, whatever it is that your team chose, that's what should be the title here. Something about that. Innovation at Apple, I think I provided as an example for the Apple team. Okay, so in this, you will address the literature. It is a bit of it is a literature review. So, and this is not just you know, online sources like McDonald's Morocco here. It also includes journal articles or book chapters here. So you're going to need to go to the library and go to the online databases at the AUI library. All right. So then that's part two, right? So part one was the SWOT analysis. Part two was taking that topic, that issue, that variable, innovation, decision making, or whatever. Amar had two, but you needed to address only one. So that's part two. Part one, SWOT analysis. Part two, the literature review, and part three was recommendations. Right? We go back over here to the group project assignment sheet, and number three says discuss recommendations for the company based on your analysis of both the SWOT and your selected issue. So the SWOT plus innovation plus strategic management. All right. So let's go back over here. We see recommendations and conclusions. Another thing that I changed just so that you would see exactly how this paper aligns with the group project assignment information sheet. All right. So 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and here's 3. All right. So recommendations and conclusions. So from your SWOT analysis of BMW, of Apple, of Mercedes-Benz, whatever company that you selected, and the issue that you provided a review and analysis of, and the SWOT analysis of the company that you selected, then what do you recommend? What does Apple need to do to innovate? What does BMW need to do to make strategic management decisions? What does Mercedes-Benz need to do? Whatever company you selected, whatever particular variable that you selected, combine that with a SWOT analysis, and then you come up with recommendations. This is what the organization should do. Let's take a look at what, and again, this isn't an exact representation of what you should be doing, but it will give you an idea. All right, so what AMAR was doing in the paper was analyzing customer satisfaction and brand loyalty and how four different independent variables, including price, food quality, service quality, and the physical environment, the layout, the interior design of the McDonald's, Maroc in this case, how those affected customer satisfaction and brand loyalty. So then we can look and say, well, what do we learn from that? Okay, the study's results, as we see here, regarding the drivers of customer satisfaction and brand loyalty, price, service quality, food quality, physical environment, may assist fast food restaurants in Morocco, including but not limited to McDonald's. Indeed, the study provides empirical evidence that may increase understanding of the driving factors for both customer satisfaction and brand loyalty in Arabic countries such as Morocco. As with all questionnaire designs like the one employed here, generalization is limited. You don't need to worry about that because you didn't collect primary data in this assignment, so you can disregard something like that. But again, I'm trying to, without having to go and just write one of these papers myself, because honestly, I don't have time to. I'm using AMAR's paper as an example. It is not perfect. You're not going to have some discussion of limitations or about the population that you chose to sample and so forth. So some of this stuff isn't going to apply, but it does have some of the information that you need. Your recommendations aren't going to be based on data that you collected. Your recommendations are going to be based on what? On two things: on your SWOT analysis and of your selected topic, innovation, strategic decision making and planning, and whatever it might have been. So, what does Apple, IBM, BMW, Mercedes Benz, whatever, what do those companies need to do? What do you recommend as a team that they need to do to improve on that issue that you identified and reviewed the literature on? Okay, so I hope that that helps you. I know that sometimes when you just go to a textual, text-based document like this, it's not as clear. I like to provide these audio visual demonstrations like this so you can better get an idea of what it is that's required. If you've got any questions at all, you're always free to email me, and I look forward to seeing you guys in class. Take care.